to the show. It's called The Morning Crossfire. I'm Sheriff Quadry. Last 1 hour of the show, 8:07 is the time from our studios here. We're live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch us. Last week, we started a series on stroke. We had neurologist Dr. Alfred Kanu on the show, and he enlightened everybody last week. And we looked at the medical approach to managing stroke. And a whole lot of other things. But today we're looking at the non-medical approach to managing stroke. It was all about education about stroke yesterday, what you can do to prevent it, if it happens, what needs to be done, and the rest of them. But this week, so what can you do? How can you manage it non-medically? Because you can't rule out that factor as well. That's our conversation this morning. Before we get into it, let me quickly let me remind you of the big day today. Today is a big day, actually. Apart from the fact that APC, they are doing their primaries today in Lagos State. The big day for me is the fact that it's the day we're going to be having the I Beg to Differ debate competition finale. So it's coming to an end today. Today we're going to, 3 people will emerge winners. The first the main winner, second runner-up, and first runner-up. The main winner wins 1 million and some other goodies. So yeah, it starts 4 p.m. The third place match starts 4 p.m. And the final is 5 p.m. on I Beg to Differ. On Hard Facts, rather, I Beg to Differ debate competition. We'll be streaming it live on Facebook and on YouTube. It's always very dramatic on Facebook. You see people arguing real time as those kids are debating real time. It's always very fun. So you can watch on Facebook and also watch on YouTube. If you can't watch, you can listen live on the radio. Many thanks to all our partners. We've been able to do it again. 3 solid weeks of engagement and debate by these awesome kids. All right, watch out for it. I Beg to Differ finale today on Hard Facts. Our Hard Facts starts at 3, to be very precise. Huh? Okay. Now, let's begin our conversation for today. Research into stroke is one of the most underfunded areas of health research, according to report. Far less is spent per survivor on research into stroke than on research into any other health condition. Now, fast forward, experts have also been talking about the impact of of traditional methods in healing or in managing stroke than the orthodox method. According to experts, some experts, they're saying that while traditional medicine has made significant progress in stroke prevention and recovery, an integrated, comprehensive approach using natural methods is very key to reducing stroke burden. That's what experts are saying, which means that it underscores our conversation for today about how we can focus more on very natural approach to dealing with stroke. And that's why I have an expert here. Ben Arikpo is joining me in the studio this morning live to discuss this non-orthodox method of managing stroke and enhancing recovery, from stroke. Mr. Ben, good morning to you again.
Good morning, Quadry. It's not so nice to be here again.
It's good to have you here.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to go straight into it. Like, what does it mean, non-medical approach to stroke recovery journey? What does that exactly mean?
Good. Broadly speaking, I always say to people there are 2 ways of managing stroke, or maybe there are more than 2 ways, but 2 methods, 2 ways of managing when someone had a stroke.
Yeah.
What are the ways of doing it? One is the medical interventions, which you just rightly mentioned. The other are the non-medical methods of managing the stroke. And that's why when we're focusing on stroke rehabilitation, we're focusing on what can we do when someone had a stroke.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we defined a stroke last time as a brain attack. Put very simply, whatever you like to describe it. That, of course, the neurologist talked about the ischemic stroke, which is the one that the artery is burst. No, that's the hemorrhagic. The hemorrhagic stroke is when your artery in the brain bursts as a result of too much blood coming into it. Okay, or blocked. So there are 2 ways: either blocked or burst. Good. Whichever way the brain has been attacked, Now, for us brain trainers, as a brain trainer, I'm a certified brain trainer, and my background is applied psychology. So I deal with the issues of the brain.
Okay.
So whichever way you have the stroke, your brain has been attacked. So it's called a traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
You have a traumatic brain injury because it's not expected. It doesn't come, it comes suddenly. So you get it right time. So let's start from there.
Yeah.
So when you have that situation, what is the first approach? The first approach is to respond medically.
Okay.
To go get, if there's blood spilled in your brain, that blood has to be taken out through surgery. That's fine. Okay. If there's an artery blocked, then they have to also open it up medically. So that's one way of intervening. Now, having done that, when someone has a stroke, what happens? 3 things happen. One, they lose the physique either on the limb.
Okay.
So if it's a right hand stroke, then they are losing physique on the left hand side.
It affects the functions of
yes, physically. Right. It also affects the function of memory. Many people lose memory.
Okay.
And the third thing it affects is also speech. So 3 things get affected: physical, mental, or memory, and then the speech. So each of these ones can have a different intervention for recovery and rehabilitation. So let's take the physical.
Let's
assume that someone has a stroke and his limbs are not working, his hand is already, or his face is drooping. Now he goes for physiotherapy. That's what physiotherapists are for.
That's non-medical approach.
That's a non-medical physiotherapy, because they're just doing physical exercises to move those limbs, all right, to get them move again. I remember someone saying that he had a little bit of stroke of that nature.
That's right.
And then when it affected his face because his face was drooping, and he went for examination and they asked him to blow 20 balloons every 10 minutes. And he said, what kind of joke is that? What kind of joke is blowing balloon every 10 minutes? But when he finally gave into it, he said he could see how that little, sometimes nonsensical play, as he called it then, had actually changed the situation. He recovered this facial the structure again. So just that. So physiotherapy can help fix that physical things that we talked about. That's one. Speech therapy can fix also speech. When people have a stroke, also they have this blood speech. They're speaking so low, so slowly, because their processing speed has been reduced, which is also a brain function. And so speech therapy can fix that. Now, but there's a memory part as well. The memory part is that you ask them anything, they're looking at you. Sometimes they can't even remember the environment in which they are. They've lost memory completely. And that too can be fixed. Can be fixed through brain exercises. That's where the brain therapists come in. That's where we say stroke rehabilitation is a multidisciplinary approach. Rehabilitation should be multidisciplinary. No one field can say, oh, yes, we do it better than the other. Because you need a physiotherapist to do the physical side.
That's right.
You need a speech therapist to do the speech. And then you need a brain trainer, a brain rehabilitation person to do the brain exercises that are required to do that.
All of these areas, are they done simultaneously, or one has to finish first if you want to hasten recovery? Or how exactly is
for best result,
a professional way to
best
do it?
Result is better to do it together. All right? Let's say someone has a stroke and they bring... This is the problem we have in Nigeria. Okay, sorry. The problem we have worldwide is that there is so much disintegrated, not integrated services. In a typical stroke clinic, you should have physiotherapy unit or department. You should have the surgical unit. You should also have the brain recovery unit, the brain training unit, where brain exercises are done. In fact, when I presented a proposal once to one teaching hospital, I don't want to name names, they were impressed because they said when the chief medical director said when he was in America, when he was training as a neurologist, brain surgeon, he saw that the people who were finishing the recovery, the surgery, were actually being moved to the brain recovery through brain exercises. They were recommended to go do brain exercises that help them to recover their speech, help them to recover their memory, and even helped in the physical rehabilitation.
What are those basic brain exercises that someone listening right now, perhaps someone with a relative who's come down with stroke, what are those basic ones that they can start doing now before they can go to a professional like yourself? What would you advise?
It sounds funny, but they are so simple sometimes. especially the home ones, are so simple. Now, what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with people who have lost memory.
Okay.
So a simple exercise like asking them to write 1 to 20 or 1 to 100 with unaided. That's one of the first things they should be doing. As simple as it sounds, if they are educated, if they are literate, they knew already how to write that. Now, when they finish doing that, you'll find that they will struggle. Even writing A to Z. I found it very interesting that very educated people, when they have had a stroke and come and you ask them to do as simple as that sounds, they struggle to do it. And these are just things that they should be doing immediately after the stroke, right at home. When they notice that their memory is failing, give them a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen to just write 1 to 100 and 100 backwards.
100 after writing it forward, they write it backwards.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just by trying to remember the sequence, A to Z and Z to back to A. The sequence. What are you trying to do in that? You're trying to get their memory to focus on the sequencing, which would then, over time, lead them to recover. That's one area. Now, secondly, I want to say that one of the key advantages of the brain is that it has a potential of regenerating itself. The neurons of the brain can regenerate, and they regenerate through exercises. So when people have had stroke,
Through
it's
exercises.
not through exercises. When you have had a stroke, it's not the end of your life. Get involved in brain exercises at a brain center, or find out how you can do basic ones. The reason why I always say go to a brain center is that they have more scientific exercises that are more intense and more pushful. Because when you are doing these things I've just talked about now at home, you are likely to say, this little thing is what you want me to do. How can this thing help? But over time, they do help actually. But go to a brain center, they can put you on a training program, which within 3 to 6 months, you'll see rapid recovery of your memory, rapid recovery of your speech after you've had a brain attack, a stroke. So these are the kind of things we are asking people to do. But people are just giving up. Maybe, as we always say, ignorance is a problem. Because people don't realize that, as I mentioned, the brain can be regenerated.
Yeah.
The neurons of the brain are the ones that give the fire to the brain to work.
Yeah.
And so after an attack, the neurons, when they are exposed to exercises, those type of exercises I'm talking about, they start regenerating. The dead ones wear off. New ones begin to regenerate. And as they regenerate, you're having new forms of understanding. Memory is recovered. Speech is recovered. Even physically, you feel stronger than you were before.
Indeed. How about, before we go to the telephone, how about the place of food, diet? Does it come in at any point?
Very, very important. For instance, you can, if you are going through brain exercise, or if you had a stroke, of course, of course, already diet might have contributed to the stroke, as mentioned last week.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So when you're recovering from stroke, there are certain foods you have to avoid. For instance, of course, our old meals are all carbohydrate. Rice, pounded yam, amala.
Almost all of them. Bunch of
Name it.
Yeah.
So try as much as possible to avoid all of those in the first instance. Go for a less or non-carbohydrate diet. As much as possible, nuts, greens, veggies, and the rest of them.
And that would hasten the recovery process.
That will hasten the recovery process also, yes.
Indeed. Now, the non-medical approach, the recovery aiding through this, how is there like a stipulated timeline that it can take? Do we know how long this takes once someone suffers stroke? Because I've had a colleague who suffered a stroke, and then we spent years together, still couldn't walk properly.
Right. That's the problem. You see, when people suffer stroke, they keep beating about the bush looking for solutions. Right? But in my view, as a brain trainer, the brain is the central processing unit of your body. And a stroke is a brain attack. So when your brain is attacked, what do? You focus on recovery. The recovery is to recover the brain first. So within, as quickly as possible. That's why I mentioned, if it was a blocked artery, once they clear it, the next thing you should be doing is actually brain exercises. So within a week or 2 or 3, you should be going on brain exercises. And that's when we can see faster recovery. Between 3 and 6 months, as I said, you will recover.
Can functioning of the hand, the legs, can they be restored through physiotherapy,
Yes, they can. Yes, they can, including brain exercises.
including brain
Yes,
exercises?
I have seen a. Okay, by the way, okay, let me say this when I come back to that. I've seen a child who came to us. He was autistic. He wasn't walking well.
Okay.
Of course, he had psychomotor challenges. Now, when we put him on the brain exercises, after 3 months, they used to lift him into his car to come to the center. After 3 months, he began to walk by himself without physiotherapy, just by the brain exercises. Why? Because that part of the brain responsible for motion, coordination, has started to receive new neurons, the rewiring of those neurons, and he could walk for himself. His speech was also blurred when he started. By 6 months, he was speaking fluently.
Wow.
And the parents were like, oh, did you bring a speech therapist? No, we're just training his brain. And those parts of the brain that were responsible for speech began to rewire. The brain can be rewired. And it can be rewired through exercises. The problem is that we do not give proper attention to these exercises, or we wait too long. I was speaking to someone just as you were mentioning at the time.
Yeah.
He said, oh, my dad has been down in stroke for the past 2 years. He's not talking and he's not. 2 years? What have you been doing about it? Oh, we've been going to the hospital. That's fine. But you needed to do beyond the hospital. You know, that's my view.
Okay, let's take some calls in before. Oh wow, okay, we're almost due for our first break. Maybe if we can squeeze in one call before the first break, that'll be fine. 0700 993 993 993 and 01465 7190. It's Health Thursday here on Nigeria Info's Morning Crossfire, and we're talking stroke rehabilitation. We've got questions for my guests here. Feel free to calling and let us know exactly the question that you have got. Would be happy to try and provide answers to your questions as much as quickly as possible. Let's see who we've got here. Good morning to you. Good
Hello?
morning. Yes, please. Good morning to you.
Hello?
Good morning to you.
Hello?
Oh, you can't hear us. I'm sorry, you can't hear us. Do try and call us back if you can, okay? Good morning to you. Good morning. I can't hear you. I'm really sorry. I need to move on. Nigeria Info, good morning to you. Good morning. Morning. Okay, you're not ready for us. Let's take another one. Good morning to you. Okay, we lost that as well. Let's take this one here. Do we have the time? Yeah, morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, my name is Angela. I'm calling from Lagos Island.
Quickly, Miss Angela. Go on.
I'm very well, thank you. I heard the doctor talk about, the autistic child. And I have an autistic child.
Okay.
His speech is blurred, so his motor movement is okay. I'm wondering what kind of brain exercise I will be giving him for him to improve on his speech and his mental capacity.
Okay. All right, Angela. Thank you. Thank you for the call. We're going to quickly head out. When we return, or you want to quickly attend to Angela's in a few seconds, yes?
Very simple. Have you what I would suggest is that if you're looking for speech, if you want our speech to improve, instead of trying to do these things yourself, get a speech therapist.
Okay.
If you haven't worked with a speech therapist, get one. If you haven't worked with physiotherapist, get one. Or otherwise, then look for brain center. There's a brain center nearest to you that you can go to for mental capacity improvement. Okay. And just Google it. Google is your friend. Brain training centers in Lagos.
Services are there. All
right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get a break now. When we return, we'll take more of your questions from Mr. Ben. Stay here.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Have you had breakfast this morning? I'm talking about a Kellogg's breakfast. It's tasty and nutritious, fortified with essential vitamins and minerals to keep you active and alert. Start your day the right way, because breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
There are 3 people whose calls I won't miss for the world. My mom.
How are my grandbabies?
My wife.
Babe, I have just...
And finally, Dele, my guy, who works at ARM. I can't afford to miss his calls. You see, Dele is always on my matter, informing me about investment opportunities before everyone else, so I can always be ready. He always has a new strategy to grow my money. The way he carries the matter on his head, eh? You think it's more than just his day job. But that's why Dele is my person, because he's invested in my tomorrow.
At ARM, we want to help you achieve your goals, because when you succeed, we succeed. Visit www.arm.com.ng. ARM, invested in your tomorrow.
Anytime your data finish, it is show, Gabi. Could be like say they cut your wire when everybody get light. From now, anytime your data finish, you will take chicken money, subscribe on top MTN all social bundle for 50 naira daily, 100 naira weekly, or 250 naira monthly to browse yafu on top Facebook, WhatsApp, TikTok, Instagram, Ayoba, WeChat, to go biscuit or Heskime. Easy. Down star 131 star 3 star 6 hash to subscribe to MTN all social bundle. Make you begin the browse yafu. So now waiting we they do today.
Enter the place and it brighten. Make everybody they wonder. Waiting me cause all the shine. Lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Wonder how I shine like this. I'm on a lush hair, be the coco. Say you want to know. And if you wanna be fine like me, I can show you where to go. A lush hair, be the coco.
Beautiful people know how to make an impression, and that's why they trust Lush Hair Extensions. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
The uncle that promised to give you money to expand your business, is he still picking your calls? And how about the woman's leader that was supposed to help you pay for your goods?
Story everywhere.
What if we told you you can get that money in less than 10 minutes with the Axis Bank Instant Business Loan? You can now easily secure an Axis Bank Instant Business Loan with an automatic repayment plan that suits your business. Loans in less than 10 minutes are available for existing customers only. Send a WhatsApp message to 0902 407 2068 or visit the nearest Axis Bank branch for more information. Axis. More than banking.
Introducing Samsung Care Plus and end your screen problems. For as low as 9,000 naira. Yes, 9,000 naira. You can enjoy a worry-free total care service on your new A series. This guarantees accidental screen repair, quick and easy access to genuine Samsung parts, and Samsung certified repair service. Simply register your A series within the first month of purchase and enjoy damage protection for up to 12 months. Register today at www.samsungcareplus.com/AFR. T's and C's apply.
We need a Nigeria, we go walk for you. We go walk for me. We go walk for everybody. Yeah. Muhammad Hayatuddin is competent and is capable. He fit to take us higher. Oh. Higher. Muhammad Hayatuddin. Oh. Higher. Muhammad Hayatuddin. Oh. Higher. Muhammad Hayatuddin. Oh. Higher. Muhammad Hayatuddin. Oh, yes. Great people of Nigeria, this is a call for peace, for progress, security, safety, and economic stability. Muhammad Hayatuddin, for a better Nigeria and a Nigeria that works for all. PDP, power to the people. Muhammad Hayatuddin. Oh. Muhammad Hayatuddin. Oh.
Your ATM card will not make life sweet for strangers.
Amen.
Your hand will not throw your money away.
Amen. Oh.
People with evil intentions will not run with your ATM card.
Amen. Oh.
Prayer is good. However, being extra careful is equally important, especially when it comes to your ATM card. Do not accept help from strangers at the ATM or POS terminal because they may fraudulently replace them. If you're an Access Bank customer, dial *901 *911 hash immediately to block your account. If you suspect any fraudulent activity, you can also call us on 01-271 200527 or send us an email at contactcenter@accessbankplc.com for further assistance. Access, more than...
I find the strength I need every time that I look into your
is unconditional. Nothing serves this love better than a bowl of Indomie. So, show some love with Indomie.
Sis, what is it again? Oh, look at this blouse. It's lovely. Yes, it's a perfect color for your complexion. And when you step out in this air, heads will turn. Want to buy it for me? I want you to buy it so I can add it to what I'm buying on Jumia. That way, my order will be enough to have it delivered for free. Then you'll give me the money for the blouse. Tola! Shop on Jumia today and enjoy free delivery in Lagos and Abuja. Jumia, your everyday delivered.
Empty wallet? Need a loan? Need vehicle financing? We've got you. Say goodbye to Sakba and step into the soft life with Creditville. Call us now
on 07000 330 330
or send a WhatsApp message
to 080 55 1010
to access loans up to 6 million naira. Let's help you finance that good life you deserve.
Terms and conditions apply. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest football fan festival in Nigeria is back. It's Goal Fest 2022. Featuring exhilarating games, food, comedy, live music by some of the best Nigerian music superstars. And you can watch the UEFA Champions League finals on a super huge screen. Goal Fest 2022 will take place on the 28th of May 2022 at the Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, Amadu Bello Way, VI, Lagos. Time at 12 noon. Hurry now. Limited tickets available. Get your free tickets now at www.goalfestnigeria.com. Goal Fest 2022 is powered by Football Republic and refreshed by Pepsi.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
We're back on the Crossfire here on 99.3. 8:35 is the time from our studio. I still have Mr. Ben Arikpo here. Is a certified brain trainer, and we're talking about how you can manage recovery, stroke recovery, through brain exercises and other areas, as a matter of fact. Let's start. This half will dedicate it to taking your questions and your thoughts. So you can call us right now, 0700 993 993 993. Female only line is 01465 7190. WhatsApp is 0809 597 5805. I'll take that WhatsApp number again, 0809 597 5805 on WhatsApp. Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3. Just search for that, and you'll be able to drop your comment on there. I'm going to start this round with WhatsApp. Joe from Egbeda is here on WhatsApp, and Joe said, I certainly know I have a brain problem because I am sometimes very forgetful. This has brought fears to me, furthering my education, as I think it would be a waste of money. Please advise.
Well, quick advice, Joe. Yes. Go check it out first. You know, it might be a brain condition, but associated also with attention deficit disorder. I don't want to do a diagnosis on the air, but go check it out. Okay. Visit any of the brain centers and see if you can do an assessment. And then from that assessment, we will know exactly what the problem is and can be advised accordingly.
Another message here on WhatsApp says, my dad has a partial stroke for 2 years now. Please, which brain center can your guest recommend?
No, it depends on where you live. There are centers in Ikeja, there are centers in VI. Lekki Phase 1. There's a center in Port Harcourt, there's a center in Abuja. So it depends on where you live, actually.
So the reason why we can't name centers is because it will amount to advertisement. Yes, so that's why we can't mention centers for you, okay? Now, let's see if we can... Let's go back to telephone now. People on the telephone line have been waiting for some time now. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, please.
How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
I am Godian.
You're welcome, sir.
I had stroke for the past 3 years now.
Sorry about that.
But I am speaking well and everything is well, but I cannot walk well with one leg. Whenever I'm walking, it seems as I'm putting my leg on a plaster or something like rubber, so that it will not, my leg will not be walking well.
Okay.
And I don't know what is causing. And something will be making it to be heavy for me to lift it.
It feels heavy.
It feels heavy.
Just stay on the line. Mr. Ben would speak to you directly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, Godian, I think the person. Have you worked with a physiotherapist before?
Yeah, I think they are treating it too.
Okay. Is it currently working with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe what we should do is that at the end of the program, if Quadry allows me, I'll give my number.
Oh, sure.
Then you can call me, and then I can talk with the physiotherapist and recommend some of the exercises that have to do with that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Please just stay on the program. I will give us the number later on.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take another call. Good morning to you. Hello? Oh, yeah, we lost that. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning.
Please, sir, I want to reach to the doctor.
Go on. He's not a doctor, but go on.
Okay. I had stroke about 2.5 years back. But I'm recovering. Also, my name is Okechukwu Israel.
Okay.
I had this lightheadedness, nearly falling down all the time. This is what can I do?
Okay.
Do you want to address any? You want to talk to him directly?
Yeah, that's okay. Okay. If you're okay, Chukwu, sorry for the stroke that you have 2.5 years now, and now you've always fallen down. Are you on any medication?
Yes.
Okay. What I would suggest is please listen in again to the end of the program. When I give out my number, please try and call. I can connect you to, or so I can hear more about the case, and then we'll be able to say what maybe your physician can do to also work with us to get that situation handled properly. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. But you're calling a female line. You shouldn't call this number. If you're a male caller, call the male line. This is 0700 993 993 993. Female only line is 01465 7190. That's a female only line. 01465 7190. Let's take another call. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please. Good morning to you.
Yeah, this is Victor.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
You can hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, God bless you for this program. I think you always brought wonderful programs that really educate people and give encouragement. On January this year, but it started on December, I had a partial stroke. So while I was being managed in the hospital, one of the nurses told me that whenever there is an issue in the brain, that it is like a statement to the brain that is the end of the brain because there is no rejuvenation for brain to be resuscitated, that any brain cell that dies has already died. But what the doctor or your guest just explained this morning has really given me a wonderful encouragement to any other person who has been listening. Actually, I went through brain surgery and it was successful. I'm very, very okay now. I can do anything. I'm very, very sound. But what I'm saying is the doctor or your guest has really put an encouragement because any other person who heard that thing, the nurse told me, it will be a sort of discouragement to the person. And also, when he was starting, he said something about using... Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Using the non-orthodox approach to heal it. In fact, that one is another encouragement because people who may not really understand will know what is actually happening. Then another thing is when people have a limb problem like paralysis of either left or right limbs, they must always go for scanning because most of the times you have issues in the brain that maybe something is suppressing the brain and will always contribute that it is ordinary stroke, not knowing that either the person had an accident before, then there is internal hemorrhage in the brain and it suppresses either the left or the right part of the brain, which will eventually affect either the left hand or the left leg. So I so much get encouragement and educated in the program. Thank you so very much, Sheriff.
Thank you too for calling. Appreciate it. Let's take another call quickly. Good morning to you. Oh, we lost that. Do try and call us back if you can. Nigeria info. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, that's gone as well. The calls are just coming in and coming in. Good morning to you.
Thank God.
Yes, please.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Yes,
Can
good morning
hear
to
me?
you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good morning. My name is Kofo.
Welcome.
And mine is my son. Well, when we had him, he had hydrocephalus. And I'm sure the doctor understands me better.
Yeah.
And, he grew up a normal child. But he's not been able to, in class, he doesn't speak like that. He's drawn back. I think you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah, we can hear you,
am.
Kofo.
Yeah,
We can hear you,
Kofo.
Kofo.
So, what can we do to help him academically? Because he's really drawn back. And I always relate it to, his head is still big, but he's not an abnormal child.
Okay.
He grew up well.
Okay.
Because he was an arrested hydrocephalus at the end of the day.
Okay.
But academically, he is really, really poor. What can we do to help him?
Okay. All right. Okay, let's start from Kofo. Kofo, please take the child to the nearest brain center where they can do an assessment and see his cognitive skills. All right. Based on his assessment results, then you'll be able to train his brain. Brain exercises to train his brain to improve. All right. That's the best option. I'm happy you say it's an arrested hydrocephalus case. So it's good that this has been happening. I would have said, okay, go first, do the surgery, then I recover from surgery, and then we do the training. But if he's already gone through all that and is functioning in school already, the best thing you can do is take him to the nearest brain center, and then they can start all the processes of assessment to see what the situation is. Because everything you need to do about the brain, you need to first understand where this current situation is before you can then help. I also want to say that it is not, there's no brain that is not trainable, and it's never too late for a brain to be trained. So irrespective of his age and class right now, don't worry. Anybody who wants to improve their intelligence, cognition, memory, everything, anything at all, you can train the brain at any point in time in your life. There's a wonderful study done by Dr. Sanjay Gupta of CNN, Keeping Sharp, where he actually took statistics he did a study that showed 80 to 90-year-old people who were involved in cognitive skill exercises, who rewired their brains to be sharper than even 35 to 45-year-olds, just through brain exercises. But here, people retire and then you go to the village to become a chief, or you struggle to become whatever. At 80, you want to be House of Assembly member. So instead of doing that, just keep doing brain exercises. And this is one of the things I want to mention also because of our time for stroke rehabilitation. To prevent stroke, you can also do brain exercises. Because as I mentioned at the beginning, there are two causes of stroke. One is that blood is deprived from the brain. So that shows that you're not doing exercises that actually help the blood going to the brain to flow easily. So you can do exercises to do that. The other is that the artery to the brain is blocked and then it bursts. All right, to prevent that burst, when you are doing regular exercise, brain exercises, then those arteries are opened up and they keep sending the oxygen that is required in the brain so that you don't suffer asphasia, which is a deprivation of oxygen in the brain. So those are the things I would say for now, and then maybe for the other calls.
All right, we got, I think all our lines are blinking, by the way. Good morning to you. Morning.
Hello?
Yes, please, good morning to you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Good morning.
Yeah. Thank you. My name is Rachel, and I wanted to know that why is it that anytime you bring a patient with stroke to the hospital, the first question the doctor asks you is, did he fall? And when you say yes, then the expression on their face will be like, maybe it's an hopeless case.
Okay. All right. That's
That's interesting. Okay. Part of it, I would say, like I mentioned, there are causes of stroke will be one is traumatic brain injury. So when they ask, did he fall? And you say, the same question I ask parents when they bring even younger people, younger children, did this child fall when he was growing up? Because there has to be an attack to the brain, a traumatic attack to the brain that results in this. If the patient didn't fall, that's why they ask you that, so they can know exactly where to look. If the patient didn't fall, then it could just be one of the other two we mentioned before. But if the person fell, that's even or it was in an accident, you hit your head on something, that's a different investigation altogether. All right? So that's the reason why they do that. But having said that, don't forget I just mentioned that even if the person fell, any traumatic brain injury can be fixed, can be rehabilitated through brain exercises.
Can this rehabilitation be 100%? Like, can they recover 100%?
Yes, I can say that. I can put my hand on my chest and say, yes, you can recover. It just depends on the length of time.
Okay.
Because we're always in a hurry to see results. So people will come and then 3 weeks and say, Mr. Ben, I'm not seeing any results. In 3 weeks, you've been home for 2 years, mind you. Yeah, there could be 100% recovery, at least of your memory, because the brain can be rewired and it can regenerate all the neurons that were already damaged through the attack. So they can be rewired.
Let me read some messages on. Let me read one or two from YouTube. Let me see who is here. Okay. Ngozi said that brain neurons do not regenerate.
Wow.
That information is wrong.
Wow. Okay. Ngozi, please.
And
please,
she also said that, I don't know if it's a he or a she, but Ngozi said that stroke is not a traumatic brain injury.
Oh, my God. Can we have an online conversation? Maybe we should invite us to a debate on this. Then we can bring our evidence. I'm sorry, Ngozi, but with all due respect, I speak as a certified brain trainer. Please, I would have liked to see your own program. But first and foremost, I speak on authority as a certified brain trainer that the stroke is a brain attack. A stroke is a brain attack. Yeah, and of course you had the
what Ngozi said was that it was not a traumatic stroke is not a traumatic brain injury.
What is traumatic? Let's define traumatic. It's an unexpected attack. That's what trauma is. All right. What is trauma? So someone is sitting in the house, suddenly he falls, like we mentioned in the case of Richard. Richard says somebody falls and hit the head on something. What is that? That's traumatic.
That's by the way. That's by the way.
No. Let's establish also, because it's important. This is air. This is public air. I don't want misinformation going out there.
I agree. I agree with you.
Traumatic brain injury means that the brain has been attacked suddenly, unexpectedly, even in a stroke, whether it is systemic or hemorrhagic. It was not expected. The brain suddenly realized that there was no flow of blood and oxygen to the brain. So it reacts. Or that there was a sudden flush of blood into the brain. So let's mind the information we give in public.
Okay.
But I'll be happy to.
I'm glad that you addressed that. I just thought to read some messages here. Let me see if I can squeeze in one more. From Femi Adenekon is also here. And Femi shared Ngozi's line of thought as well, that it is not a traumatic brain injury. That stroke is not a traumatic brain injury.
So what is it? Can they just respond?
They didn't give what it is really from their own contribution. But we have to go now. We really must go. But I'm glad that we are able to attend to that. But as you can see, look at the telephone lines. We can't take all the calls. But how can people reach out to you if they have questions?
All right, and please, Femi and Ngozi, please reach me on these numbers, and others who want to reach me, 0808 170 3500. 0808 170 3500. Or you can tweet at me at B Bravo Arikpo, Arikpo. B as in Bravo, Arikpo is spelled Arikpo. That's my Twitter handle. B Arikpo at B Arikpo. That's my Twitter handle on Twitter. And of course, you can follow me on Facebook. Ben Arikpo is my name, and I can reach you.
Mr. Ben
Let's
Arikpo,
have that conversation going.
Thank you.
I really like to have that conversation going.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Lagos, that's our show. I am Sheriff Quadry. I will be back on the radio on Monday. Good morning to you.
This is an infomercial.
Hello, Lagos. Lucas Green is offering a highly discounted wardrobe makeover for men. With 100,000 naira, you will get a whole bunch of 13 items, which includes a suit, 3 kaftans, 3 tonics, 2 trousers, 1 pair of shoes, and 1 pair of sandals. This package will get you covered.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.